Join us for Elements of Business, where we talk to local business owners about how they do what they do. Something that's kind of interesting about what you just said, there's a lot of artists, and again, that's a tough business.
It is a tough business.
It is so biased, and it's so subjective to different people's tastes. But again, I think this speaks to kind of who you are in the sense of you adapted your art, your medium to something that people could buy. I can't buy $3,000-$4,000 pieces of art for staging for myself.
Right.
I'm not there yet, but hey, I can buy this.
Yes.
I can buy that. And that makes me feel like I'm part of your community because I can. So I think there's something to what you've done as well though too. And I think you should really be applauded for that. Is you didn't just say, oh, I want to be an artist and I want to make big pieces of art for people and stop there.
Yeah.
Right? Which a lot of people do. They go, well, this is what I want to do. And if I can't do exactly that, I'm not interested. You're looking at it and going, I'm humbled that I can even make these things. And you produce something that is attainable for some people.
It is. And this is entry level into someone's home.
Exactly.
And this is into someone's home.
And this is a piece of art to me. I would be afraid to put a hot cup. You can, but I would be afraid to because I'm like, dang, I might ruin the art because it's beautiful. I would hang these up, thinking from a design perspective, I would hang them up in they're beautiful.
They are. Mm-hmm.
And so this is where I think it's kind of neat what you're saying. Yes, artists want this, but I love that you've created that path for yourself and you've made it attainable for other people, normal people, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? So that's kind of cool.
So another thing that we talked a lot with Sarah about it, and we've sort of touched on it again here, but what is the why for you, right? We always talk in business, you've got to have that why.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got this dream propelling you forward.
Yeah.
You have that already, you're already super motivated, but there's got to be a higher kind of something that speaks to you. What is that for you?
Well, for me, it's definitely my relationship with God.
Okay.
I feel a very strong purpose over my life, and I hope everyone does, but I can definitely speak for myself. I wake up in the morning and I know I'm called to do something.
Yeah,
I have a destiny, I have a plan. So that is by far the number one driving point in me. I also feel this is using what's in your hand. I think everyone has to use their gifting and bring it forward.
Yeah.
So I feel I'm honoring that, and I'm honoring that calling by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is oftentimes what a lot of people struggle with. I feel very similar in that respect. I know that I have a purpose, I have a destiny. Yeah. And no matter what I put my hand to, because it is something that is mine, something that I've been gifted to do, I know that I can put those talents and those efforts out there and it will be rewarded simply because I know that I'm called to do those things, to help in that way, I think a way that maybe other people don't. And there's a power to really understanding that purpose, that intent to your life.
I agree.
Because then no matter what you put your hand to, it will blossom, it will grow because it's your strength and what you've kind of been put here to do. Right?
And one of the reasons that I know that it's my purpose, it's how I feel when I'm doing it. So I feel free. I feel alive. I feel like nothing else matters when I'm creating the artwork. So being in tune with how does this make me feel? And
huge.
That I think goes in a line with your purpose. Some people get that same feeling, maybe closing a deal. So this is something that I've become aware of. Yes, I love it. It's a passion, but I am so aware of that feeling too, of just being right on the mark.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're not there yet, that's not something that it's a journey, right?
I think you need to listen.
Yeah, I think you need to listen and watch. If you are in a place where you're not happy, well, what is it that's not making you happy? What is it that is making you happy? And don't get me wrong, I don't think all of us can be artists or all of us can be. But even with
everyone's got something though.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Everyone's
but
got something
even with Mon and I do, we do real estate and we do design and we do, a lot of people would go, well, how is that benefit? You know what I mean? But to us, we don't see it as transacting real estate. We see it as helping families. We see it as helping people achieve their goals, helping them get a step further in their journey. To me, that is what I'm not taking, I made X amount of dollars off of that person. It's, I helped this family get a bit further, for example. Right. And so there's something really powerful to that for me, which makes the the job itself have life.
Yeah.
Right. And so
I think too, like when you get to that place where you can dial in, it also helps you cut through the noise, right? If this client isn't serving you or serving what you are trying to accomplish with other families, maybe this isn't the right fit. Maybe this commission piece, you know, it's being asking you to do something that you're not comfortable with or that you don't feel passionate about, right? Because that does happen, and we could have some big ticket clients and commissions coming through, and if it doesn't align and you know that, you can
and you have to have confidence in that, like
find strength.
Just yesterday actually someone wanted me to do a large abstract piece, and they showed me what they want, and I just said that's actually not the direction I'm going.
You can't.
I knew I probably could do it.
Sure.
But I don't want to do it.
No. But there's something so I remember like a few years ago the theory was say yes to everything. Be a yes man. Remember that movie Yes Man?
Oh yes.
Right? And now it's like, no, actually no is your best word.
Yes.
Like, and for me on my realism side, I'm like, yes, finally. But it's true. Being able to say no is just as powerful as being able to say yes. In the sense of being able to say no because you know what your lane is, because you know the direction that you're going in, because you know where your weaknesses are. To be able to say no from those positions, that's a strength, because taking every opportunity just because it's there isn't necessarily wise either.
No, it isn't.
You divert your attention, you divert your passion, you divert your energy for things that are going to produce bad results anyways. So what's the point? So there is fundamentally something very cool about getting to a place where you know yourself well enough to know and to say, I'm not good at that. I'm going to hand it over to somebody else because that's not my strength. And and that's okay. I don't have to be strong at anything, and I will be happier if I'm working in my strength than in my weakness, right?
Yeah. So, and I really picture it as kind of like it cleans the space.
Yes.
Like, if I say no to this, I'm not going to dirty up this this client relationship or this, and it sort of kind of clears that space.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah. I have to, like, I'm very much like, I need everything to be organized. So once it's like organized in my head, like this is, I can go through this. Like, no, that's not important. This is noise. Let's just focus, right?
And speaking of noise, I mean, there's so much noise, right?
Our children.
There's so much distraction. There's so much.
Get rid of it all. No, just.
I mean, even with social media and Instagram, I will say it is a double-edged sword, or however you want to look at it, because it can be such a great thing, and it can also be such a negative at the same time. Even just the other day, I'm like, I think I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete my whole account. And I've got over 20,000 followers.
Not do that.
But there is a part of me that doesn't value it, because I'm just like, it's not, yes, it's real, but it does not define me. It does not mean that you're successful. It doesn't mean any of those things.
But I think it's a tool. In my mind, social media has always been a tool. Exactly.
So you should use it.
A tool to communicate who you are. But it is, you have to keep yourself in check and understanding it is only a tool. And if people accept you or don't accept you or like you or don't like you, it really is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, it is what you feel. I'm not doing this for anybody. I'm doing this because I truly feel this is what I'm supposed to be doing. If you guys want to join me for the ride, fantastic. If you don't, cool. It doesn't affect me.
No, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. Just like it's like comparison shopping, right? You can't compare yourself. And I think there's something very powerful to that. To you, I mean, I look at your Instagram and not even just your content, but just the fact that you have people that are buying in with you. I think there's something super powerful with that. If you don't let it go to your head, like
it's not in my head,
exactly, which I know about you, which I think is so beautiful with what you've created, because it's what you put out there. And I mean, a lot of people probably don't know this about me, but we put out content. I don't spend thousands of hours reading people's reviews because I don't want to. No. Why? Because that would get into my mind.
It can get you off track.
Exactly, and get you focused on what's the wrong thing. My thing is to put out stuff out there that hopefully is relevant, hopefully is meaningful. And hopefully people, like, if they don't, that's okay. Like, I'll be okay.
And I think the biggest thing, like, lately I've really been paying attention to, as business owners, as creators, we create content. Yes. But we cannot be there consuming it.
No.
Because it becomes engage with your community.
Absolutely.
but don't consume it because it will be all encompassing, and it's really difficult to not let that little comparison.
I don't know what it is. It just does something.
You know what it is? Honestly, it speaks to the parts that are our self-confidence and
the parts where we don't feel we're good.
That there's small little gaps, and that's normal, right? And it speaks to that part, and it feeds that part, and so if we can just chop it off at the knees, you're very good at that.
You're cutthroat.
Ignore.
She doesn't even.
Whatever.
Like it's up. It's gone. I'm not paying attention. If somebody has a question, absolutely, I'll answer that.
Reactive,
but that's about it, right? And so I think everyone goes, "Oh yeah, you have to like and comment on all these."
No, you don't.
Oh, and let's be perfectly authentic here. I don't watch my videos.
Oh,
because if I watched my videos, I would never do another video again because I know I'm not someone really pretty. Who's really pretty out right now? I'm thinking old school like Julia Roberts. Like but you know what I mean. I'm not that person. So if I were to critique myself up against those people, you would never see this bright shiny face.
It's a very good point. And you know what? Actually, I was talking with another real estate agent just the other day, and they were like,
"What? You were talking to another real estate agent?"
But just Monica, just
end of interview. Let's go.
Back it up.
But this is what she said. She's like, "Your friend Monica, I love what she's doing. I love how she's
her.
This is what she said though. I love how she's putting herself out there in front of the camera. I wish I had been doing that." She's like, "I wish I had been doing that, but I'm always so self-conscious about how I look and it being, am I dressed a certain way and having
is my tummy tucked in, is my hair done, don't
having everything tickety-boo, and I'm like, Monica just does it. Like,
she doesn't care. It's clear she does. Thank you, Elaine.
Well, you look great, but I'm just saying, if you're overly critical of every little aspect, well, then you're not reaching your audience, and you're not showing them those homes, and so that's a huge compliment for what you guys are doing, because she said, "Oh, I wish I could be more like that."
Oh, that's so sweet.
What I will say to anyone who's saying, "I wish I could be more like that," you can.
Yes, you can.
Just don't watch your videos. That's all you got to do.
And just start, right? Just start. Yes. And just start pushing it out, and you can.
Yeah,
we've been doing it for a year.
Yeah,
and I don't even think we think about it anymore.
No, we don't. As anyone who's around us knows, we really don't prep. We just talk.
There's like scribbles on the page. Like we're gonna.
It's all just flowing.
We'll maybe touch that. I don't know.
Yeah, see, we have questions here. Haven't touched them. So that's good.
That's good. Whatever.
Yeah, it's what we do. So, anything else we want to chat about?
Yeah, well, because she has bajillion children, and
I do have
this, so you guys can't
she means 3.
I say boys. That's
all of the kids. What you can't see is we're in her basement, and it's a studio, and we're like literally surrounded by resin products.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
I love it.
But how does all of this stay in balance? Like, how do we turn
There's no balance.
Okay,
Yes.
There's no balance. Okay, so I think it might depend on what someone's job is and what does their life look like. For me, I have highs and lows in my season.
Yep.
Which now, after a few years of having kind of a consistent, I guess, with markets and everything like that.
You know your schedule.
I already know what my season looks like. So I know from September to Christmas, basically to Christmas Eve.
Don't call her. Yeah.
Well, it's the high of my season.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm working nonstop. I work every single day. I did not take a day off from September until Christmas morning.
Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts. I don't recommend that.
No.
This was just a very unique year, but I already know this. So I kind of prepare my family in advance for that. My kids actually didn't do activities last couple of months. Knowing what my schedule was and what my commitment was, I said, you're going to do your activities spring, summer.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to be okay.
Yes.
So you need to shift and you need to pivot sometimes, and the whole family is affected by that, because it would be either, you make those changes and you know what's going on, or someone else would have to take my kids to everything.
Exactly.
And that's not going to work.
There's something really cool about that too, because I think Mona and I have talked about this quite often in terms of redefining your family, especially when you're an entrepreneur or you're trying to achieve something maybe that's not the standard 9 to 5 kind of jobs. That's okay. Like, your kids are going to be okay. My kids, they know what our Saturdays look like. It's never we just lounge around on Saturday and do nothing. We do a little bit of work. We have a little bit of fun. We do a little bit of work. We do some grocery shopping.
Yeah.
That's our life. And my children, honestly,
they're surrounded by this work environment.
Yes, and I know
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and they understand the sacrifice and the compromise because we're building something, right? Yeah. It's not just that we're just wandering aimlessly through life. So I love that. It's not necessarily about a balance, but it's about redefining how you do things and that being okay.
Yeah.
Does some of my family critique it? Sure.
Oh yeah.
But who cares? I don't care because my kids are healthy.
Yeah.
They're strong. My marriage is strong. We are together on this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem here?
You know what? Someone will complain if you're working too much. Someone will complain if you're not working enough.
It's never.
No one's ever going to be thinking that you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
You can't please everyone, so you have to do what's right for you right now.
Yes.
So after coming into that busy season, I also know that January, February looks very different.
Mm-hmm.
So January, I spend a lot of time in the office, not as much time in the studio, and I'm glad for that change.
Yes.
Because it is so intense for that period of time that I actually need to
separate for a bit.
Yes, I do. And have clarity in mind, get all my books in order, do all the year end. And I actually enjoy the different type of work. And then in February, we go on a family holiday, and I need to get away from winter. Sorry, I'm trying to love it. I really am. But I just feel like maybe not enough sunlight. It gets me down.
Frostbite, these things are the things. Actually, it's been pretty nice lately.
It hasn't been bad, but just not enough sun.
No,
like I do feel the winter blues.
Yeah.
So now we schedule a trip. Mm-hmm. So I know kind of the ups and downs of my schedule. I also know that the next couple of months will be lots of commission work. I've got lots of orders now waiting. I don't take commission work the last couple of months because it's all about homewares during the gift giving season. So now those people have been patiently waiting.
Yeah.
So I already know all of that. And I think the more you can have confidence knowing, okay, I have to push through my busy season, but I also know it's not like this all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that helps you.
Well, and setting expectations, probably. Like setting expectations with your family, setting expectations with your clients, setting expectations with everyone you kind of work around does help as well, too, because that alleviates the pressure off of you. Yeah. Some people, I think, the reason that they like this balance is that they're trying to do it all, when in fact, you've got to let people know you're human. Like, I have a family, I have things I want to accomplish outside of work, and communicating that, I think, is important, like your commission pieces.
Yes, I mean, I think as much information you can give.
Because you could tell them, okay, I'll get it done, it done. And then she doesn't sleep, she doesn't see her children, she doesn't eat. Like, that's not okay, right? And so I think there's something really important to communicating expectation and agreeing to that expectation too, to have that balance.
And the whole family is really on board. Like, like I've got a great husband who gets all of this.
Yes, he does.
So he often will even look to me and be like, "Okay, Elaine, what's next?"
Right.
And I'm like, well, I already know. Like I usually know at least the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But with this kind of business, I have to apply for markets sometimes 10 months before.
Right. Yeah.
So I've already planned out part of my year that I've had to apply for these markets and pay for them. You already have to put that money out there. So some of my year I already know. And then, of course, you need to leave room for the unexpected wonderful commissions that are going to come in. Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway from that, just to kind of succinct that, is your intentions.
Yeah.
Right? Be super intentional with family, with clients, with business, with wherever you need to set those intentions, you do that.
And don't be afraid to change it so that it doesn't look like everybody else's. That's okay. As long as you know your family's healthy, it's strong. You have an understanding,
and you have to take care of yourself too.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
So like that
part really, I haven't established yet. So
we'll get there. We're getting there.
That's the really hard part, because often, like, I will take care of business before I'll take care of myself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's like that drive is so strong that I will like not go, work out. Yeah. So it's good to kind of put everything into order. Like right now,
I'll sleep before I'll work.
Well, sleep is really important too. I'm not recommending that people wake up at 4 a.m. every morning.
But I love that you do it with joy in your heart. Dear God, I had to get up at 6 a.m. this week. I was like, oh, sweet Jesus, who does this? Like I had bags and it was.
You know what?
Horrible.
It's much harder if an alarm wakes you up. I will say this.
But otherwise I won't get up.
But like I understand this, because often when I wake up really early, I'm not setting an alarm. I literally will just wake up. And I think it's completely different. Whereas I was, I woke up all week at 6 a.m. this week because I was, booking Disney passes. That was
joy
not
in your
and
heart.
the thing that I find, you know, Elaine, the thing that I find very amusing here is that you go from psychotic, busy work,
I know,
and her relaxation is Disney.
I know.
I couldn't think of a bit with 3 boys.
Yeah, it's for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's for the
Yeah,
children.
you and I have different ideas of relaxation.
The other trips will happen.
They will.
They
They
will.
will. So I love that you're doing that. I think it's super fun. So yeah. So I think that kind of does that. Sum
I
us
just
up?
wanted to, like, because she's built this business on her
Mhm.
back, I just
Yeah.
really want to know, for young entrepreneurs out there,
Yes.
do you have any tips, any tricks, something you want to leave with people?
Words of wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say this. Don't be too quick to bring whatever it is that you've made to market. I think it's really important to put in the time and to become excellent. Some people would say a master, whatever, an expert
Yes.
at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say that's the reflection of about 10 years of work or 10,000 hours, however way you want to put it.
Sure.
I really believe that. I'm not going to be too quick to put the next thing out there. I do
Without
so much
testing it,
testing
proving it, yeah.
and trial and error. You guys, there are so many things that I have not brought forward. You know, I have a jewelry line that has never been launched. I have, you know, other pieces and products that are just not there. So therefore you don't get to see them yet.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to take the time.
You heard
to
it here,
become-
people. It's
I was gonna
coming.
say, and
We'll see. We'll see. If it's not good enough, it's not coming. But I will tell you, I think it's really important to take that step back. You don't have to show the whole world everything that you're working on.
Yeah.
Get good at what you're doing in private.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when no
Absolutely.
one's looking, no
Yeah,
cameras,
absolutely.
nothing. Do really, you know, take that time to become a master, and then you will know when it's the right time. I'm not saying, you know, wait for everything to be perfect. I'm saying get good at what it is you're doing.
Yeah. Because that's what's going to differentiate you, right? Because
Yes.
if you try to, you know, someone could come along and try to replicate what you're doing.
And they
But
have.
and they have, and I've seen your replicas out there, but they're not the same.
No,
I can tell.
they haven't put in the time.
Yeah, the depth of your color, the depth of your work, like the quality of your boards. It's the little things that oftentimes in our society it's always cheaper is better. No,
Yeah.
I think people are returning, especially with this artisan kind of markets that are out there now, buying local. People are really
People
starting.
want quality.
Yeah, people want quality and they want to know that you put something into it other than just the materials that are there. And so I mean, I can tell, but mostly it's because I appreciate your work. But I know for me, I can tell the difference, right? And there's something that said you can tell you put the hours and you've put the time into thinking about those things. So just know it is your efforts are noticed.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, now that we have blabbered on for a long time, we will
Probably an hour.
leave it there. But we want to say thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I love watching these women just entrepreneur, just be there and do these things and do it with excellence. It's really cool to see. So very inspirational.
Thanks,
and thank
ladies.
you for your time, and join us next time when we do this again.
For our elements of business.
Our elements of business.